Now, Scott Frank, a longtime scriptwriter from Los Gatos, makes his directorial debut with The Lookout. Chris Pratt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt of Brick, is a survivor of a terrible automobile accident, though his scars aren't readily apparent. He copes with his limitations and he works at night at a rural bank. At a bar, an old acquaintance, played by Matthew Goode, picks up Chris and fixes him up with a girl. It turns out he's the leader of a gang of thieves who wants to use Chris as the inside man on their latest heist. The quirky grace that Gordon-Levitt displayed in Brick is back, and yet it's actually Jeff Daniels as Chris's housemate, who you cannot stop watching.
Once upon a time, I had the perfect life. Now I have to write everything down just to make it through the day.
Any problems this week?
Nope.
Crying? Raging?
Nope.
Taking your meds?
That's Chris Pratt.
My friend would like to buy you a drink.
Gary Spargo? We know each other. I was in your sister's class. Toast family, right? What's this?
Yes, this is a project I've been working on.
Why are you taking pictures of a bunch of banks?
Because I'm gonna rob one of them.
What is this?
You know, I need your help.
You want me to rob the bank?
Don't you want your old life back?
You can't give that to me.
On the night, your job will be the most important job of all. You're the lookout.
Look, I can't do this.
Go in there, do your job, and shut your mouth. Where's the money?
Start at the end, work backward.
I have the money, I have the power.
I find this, watching this film is like being driven in a car in the wrong gear. I think that there's a lot of revving going on, but not as much forward motion. I mean, I think the script is interesting. I think Jeff Daniels is like fascinating to watch. I really feel like I've been here and done this one already with, after having seen A Simple Plan. And yeah, it kind of left me a bit cold, as big a fan as I am of Gordon-Levitt. So I kind of hang my head over this one. What about you?
Well, I love this.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, I was astounded. I was just like blown back in my seat,
Really?
like I was at over 750 miles an hour in an air tunnel.
Yeah, I feel that way about it.
First of all, I thought it was a character-driven film.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I thought the acting was superb. Not only Gordon-Levitt, and again, Jeff Daniels had the best line, and he was he was magnificent. But this guy, Matthew Goode, who is the baddie, blew me away. First of all, he was every goddamn loser who I'd ever seen who had done one term in the Slammer, you know.
Yeah, and our hero is like two basically.
But what's so amazing about this guy is that he is a British actor who we saw out there in Woody Allen's Match Point as the rich son of and brother of the heroine.
Well, it's an excellent job of concealment. But then you take away from these three leads, and you get into, I think, increasingly weak acting in the supporting characters.
Oh,
I mean, like when it comes down to, like, for example, the deputy, the rural types at the bank. That's when it started to lose me there. I think in every one of the sequences there, he shot this on digital, and it really looks excellent. There's one effect that I loved. This one where sort of an X marks the spot on the side of an apartment building because of the reflection of a neon cross. You know, I mean, I can't lie and say this is as good a movie as I would have liked it to have been. I think that it does have a lot of integrity in it, and Daniels' scenes just made me wish the film could have been about him.
Well, I mean, I think Gordon-Levitt, this could have been just a gimmick.
True.
But I think it really just went beyond that because of Gordon-Levitt's interpretation of this part.
He's on his way up.
I've got to say something else.
Yeah.
This film had a lot of trouble getting made. Scott Frank, who has written some excellent scripts and is really
including Out of Sight, one of my favorites of the decade.
Directed this film, and I've got to say, for me, the editing, the scenes, the lack of fat on this film, the movement of this film, though the heist wasn't a big deal, though it's very surprising what happens in it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this thing worked perfectly, and I really suggest people go out there and look for it. And I've got to say that around 89% of the critics in America just thought this was one of the finds of the year so far.
I know. I think people tend to overrate a film like this.